We still.
Yeah, I mean Cracker, except there were two
special.
special. The last special was brilliant, but there was two specials before it in the 90s where the original cast weren't there and it was only focused on Robbie Coltrane, and that fell apart a bit.
What about
But on the I mean,
clocking off?
no, I would say the fourth series. I think after Philip Dunnister leaves in the third series, it sort of falls apart. Pam Ferris
Life
takes
on
over.
Mars.
Ooh,
Not,
Well,
not Ashes to Ashes, just Life on Mars, which was 2 series.
Well, that's again.
yeah.
Mm.
So that finished.
Pretty
Yeah,
perfect.
no, it did. I mean, my kind of list when I was thinking about it, the X-Files definitely tapered off when Mulder left. The West Wing, there was a dodgy 6th series.
Yeah.
House had a dip in a few series. Even Battlestar Galactica had a series where they fast-forwarded, 30, 40 years, and it really didn't work. And also the ending was poor. And a lot of people will say, Lost, but it was ruined by the ending.
Oh, Lost but even like season 3 of Lost was a bit
That's right. There were certain
questionable.
series of that. I mean,
I think Lost had the best title of a TV program ever, though, because even the creators didn't seem to know what the hell they were doing.
Yeah.
They had an idea of let's crash a plane on an island and have all these
It
people
went
living
biblical
together.
at the end.
And from then on, they were completely lost.
But I
They
think
didn't know where to
that
take
was the
it.
beginning of a period in American television where basically a great idea was enough. Like Flash Forward is a great idea, but they had no idea how to turn it into a television show.
Flash Forward.
And the event and things like that. There were all these
the event. You're bringing back all the
God.
classics there.
This is
I know,
supposed to be shows that are perfect from beginning to end.
No, but these were great ideas, but there was no way they were going to make it into television shows. I would say, you're going to hate me. See, I might be tempted to go for something like Numbers, although it's not perfect.
Now I'm going to make the caveat: shows that were perfect from beginning to end that people know.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to suggest all 13 seasons of Murder, She Wrote.
Oh.
That level.
You're not taking this seriously. You're not taking it seriously.
I'm looking at my DVD collection. Deep Space Nine had bad seasons.
I would actually say, I mean, I don't know what qualifies here, but Utopia was pretty solid.
I was looking at my Utopia discs and I was thinking the same. Yeah. Porridge was pretty perfect from beginning to end.
Yeah. If I could just stick with the BBC versions of Red Dwarf, there was a few dodgy
if its
episodes.
fourth series is as good as the first episode, I would maybe put Fresh Meat in there.
That
Fresh Meat ever dipped for you?
Well, that all depends on the comeback
it's
later.
got better and better, that has.
That depends on the comeback later this year. Really.
I just said that. Did I not?
No, I'm
just
agreeing.
say
I'm
that?
agreeing. I'm agreeing. It's pretty
I've
damn
seen
good.
the first episode, and that sort of suggests
have
that
you?
the quality hasn't. Yeah, I went to another screening to see it.
Ah, right. There might be
reviews where Matt says this.
What?
Oh.
Call the Midwife. Let's start with that, because I'm really interested to know what Gary's thought of it. We all sort of know what Call the Midwife is. Midwives, nuns, 1960s. This first episode, they looked at generation now where they're getting into the swinging 60s. Women have more of a sort of choice. They're sort of exploring their options a bit more than the nurses are, the midwives of the show. And then there was a story about a baby born with deformities, which was quite hard.
I can never say it. Thalidomide.
Yeah, thalidomide. This is the controversy. I mean, this is the start of that sort of story, which it'll go into. This was literally just focusing on the birth of the baby. They didn't really bring up the drug very much in this episode.
No.
Gary, what did you think of it? Did you enjoy it?
I can't believe we're doing this. I honestly can't believe it.
I mean, obviously, I'm aware it's a female-focused show. But this episode particularly, I mean, a lot of stuff about body consciousness, about the history of the characters.
That's the sort of evolution now of this.
You're getting. I mean, I actually thought it was quite good. I thought as a storyline, as a single episode, it was very good. It had, as you said, very emotional moments. Very much indicative of what you think of old cases. You know, the dad, when he found out the baby, was like, no, I don't want anything to do with it. It's not coming into my house. I genuinely liked it. And I thought there were some very good performances. in it.
As I said last week, when people think about Call the Midwife who haven't seen it, they just see it as this sort of
Nuns on bikes.
twee program, and that's sort of to an extent what it started as, but it sort of developed into a more sort of heavy-hitting issues-based thing, especially when they sort of navigated away from using Jennifer Worth's memoirs, and Jessica Raine left the series, and Miranda left the series.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
But from what I see as well, next week they're going on to breastfeeding versus, bottle feeding as well. They're really going through some issues which are very relevant now as well. So, I mean...
As we said last week about Jericho, it's not really... It's not a cop show. It is a little bit of a medical show, I suppose, but that's not the sort of abiding element.
It's not Casualty, so...
No, it's more...
I suppose...
Yeah, go on, Luke.
This would be the only time to ask Gary where he stands on breast or bottle.
He doesn't stand on either. Normally he tries to avoid.
He does if he pays a bit extra.
I think I'll plead the fifth.
Oh, that means breast.
But are you going to continue watching this series then?
I think I might.
I'll just say as well, there was a really good performance. The mum who had the baby was played by Liz White, and she was absolutely fantastic.
She is brilliant.
Wonderful.
Helen George was good in this. She sort of improved as the series has gone on. I think her name is Emerald Fennell, the actress who plays Patsy. She's good. They've got this storyline where I don't know if you got that, Gary, the Welsh girl is her lover. And
I kind of picked up on that, yeah. There's
in the last series, she sort of lost her memory.
There was something in the Christmas special that I watched about them as well. So
I think she's now regained her memory, but her mum doesn't want to move out on her own with her lesbian lover. So
all going on Call the Midwife makes one born every minute look a bit dull.
Luther's ex-wife's lesbian lover?
Not her, no.
Okay,
no, she was in Dr. Foster more recently.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Endeavour.
Well, I'm fine with it, but I think Luke's got an issue.
I think I sit somewhere in the middle here. I mean, me and Luke had a discussion last night, and we've decided that chasing the tiger is the new jumping the shark.
Tiger in a maze.
Chasing a tiger in a maze is the new...
Because it just rolls off the tongue the same.
Yeah. What were you doing at the weekend? Chasing the tiger through a maze.
I think this episode, for me, I've enjoyed the first two of this series, but this third episode I found quite dull and quite slow until the final scene where, oh God, it's a blooming tiger. What's the tiger doing in this?
Yeah.
In an episode.
And
where
the
did
police
that come
chief
from?
The police chief, who looks like he hasn't done a day's policing in 30 years, suddenly decided he was a killer from the North African tribes. I know what you mean. I mean, I just kind of didn't really see it that way. I kind of still looked at the police work and the storyline leading up to it.
I thought that was quite dull this week, the actual sort of plea. It all felt quite just procedural and going through the motions. I like the sort of subplot about, like, Morse not wanting to sort of play the game about, advancing in the Force. I didn't realise till recently that the guy, is it Strange, who was the PC, actually his boss in Inspector Morse. I didn't realise that.
No, that's right, and it does. That is a bit of a unique dynamic.
It's DCI in the Morse series.
It's interesting as we go through this because obviously they've got a lot of time to play with. It's not like they're rushing towards when he becomes Morse. They're not advancing the storyline like that. But at some point, you can see where Thursday is going to either retire or pass on because of his ill health.
Or become Friday.
Well, exactly. He'll become Man Friday instead of Man Thursday.
Yeah. No, I just found it a bit silly. I enjoyed it. Everything I like about Endeavour I still like. But episode 2 went a bit doolally at the end, and this went extra doolally at the end for me, I think. But yeah, can we now refer to a show as chasing a tiger through a maze? That is...
Also, on Sunday nights, up against Call the Midwife and Endeavour, is Walking the Himalayas. This is the follow-up to Walking the Nile, a show Luke very much enjoyed.
Yeah.
Follows Levison Wood, who is an explorer, former... was he a Marine or was he in the army?
I want to say he was something before he did this.
Yeah. He was in one of the armed forces though.
He worked at Curry's for a bit.
Specifically, and Rumbelows. As the title would suggest, he is walking the Himalayas in this. From Afghanistan, did he start?
Afghanistan or Pakistan, one of the stuns.
I think, he started in Afghanistan because it was all,
Tajikistan.
look at this side of Afghanistan as opposed to the Afghanistan we always see on the news.
That's right, yeah.
I've got as far as episode 3, and episode...
As have I.
Yes, where it ends with him basically crashing... Well, he gets into a taxi.
Oh, in that case, I've got as far as episode 4 then. Sorry, I'm...
No. I've got as far as him waking up in hospital with a broken arm and various other injuries. Because of all these like perils he's faced and things in his 2 series, the thing that almost finished him off was it being in a car.
Was the fact that he wasn't walking.
No.
The reason I wanted to bring this up is because a lot of people won't be watching this, even though I've done my best to highlight it on Twitter. Leveson Wood is a brilliant host because he is like the antithesis of Bear Grylls, who I find grates on me rather. But Leveson Wood is just really entertaining to watch, and you do feel there's genuine peril. It's not done for TV.
I don't know, Luke. I feel occasionally, certainly in that first episode where it's like, oh, we've almost run out of water, or here's some water. No, sorry, I'm thinking of the Nile one. The one I'm thinking of is, if we don't find a village, if we don't find a camp over this next hill,
yeah, but on the second
for.
Episode of Walking the Nile, somebody did die in his care.
But what I mean is, like, it just feels like, oh, we're gonna be in peril again. Oh, we're all right now, and he always seems to get really tired. And it's like...
Well, he's walking the...
I know, but it feels like he hasn't done any training and he's just left his house one day and decided, I'll go walk the Himalayas.
Who was that celebrity that did that with the London Marathon? They didn't train, they just turned up. Was it?
Eddie Izzard.
No. The London Marathon. They just turned up. Was it Jordan or something? It was one of... They just turned up one year and thought,
I know what you mean.
Jade
Goody. That's right. I was thinking Kerry Katona.
Just turned up one year. Well, same gene, brain cell. Turned up and...
How did we get from Walking the Himalayas to Jade Goody? You couldn't even make it up.
6 degrees of podcast separation.
I don't know. I disagree. I think this feels...
No, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. But I think there's occasional bits which are put on for the telly. I think the peril is enhanced perhaps more than it needs to be.
I always like documentaries, particularly that shine a light onto a world that I would never otherwise see. And it's amazing how civilizations are still running in 2015 or 2016.
Yeah.
That you just don't imagine the world is like that anymore, and it shows you. It shines a light on something you'd never otherwise see, and Channel 4 does those brilliantly. And I do think he's a great host. I do feel comfortable watching him. I don't think he's putting anything on apart from, as you say, maybe the perils enhanced a tiny bit.
But you've still got to remember, this is still a television programme. I don't think anybody bemoans a little bit of enhanced danger.
But Walking the Himalayas, Sunday 8, Channel 4. It's the last one this Sunday, so catch up on all 4 if you want to see it.
Well, so let's go to Pick of the Week then.
I will go for the Great British Bake Off Sport Relief one. Good to see that coming back. A good bunch of celebrities.
That's exactly what it's called.
Indeed.
It is called that.
And Samantha Cameron, who in this bump here, Luke, is written as a businesswoman. I thought she was fake being a wife and a mother. Yeah. I was wrong.
It's also got Maddie Hill of EastEnders and, unfortunately for us, Jason
David James. He'll be a safe pair of hands. Not.
That's Wednesday, 8:30.
Football-based joke there, you two. Just didn't know because he dropped.
It passed us by.
His nickname was Calamity because of Calamity James.
So I thought you'd have gone for Madam Secretary. So
I just saw that. And
8:30 on Wednesday, the Great Sport Relief Bake Off. Oh, there's literally nothing of interest to me. So I'll stick with Walking the Himalayas, 8:00 Channel 4 Sunday.
Do you want mine?
Yeah.
No, okay. I'm not bothered tonight.
No, I want to know it now.
Okay.
I'm going for on BBC 3 line exclamation mark. Or BBC.
That was something. I panicked then. That was something I'd written accidentally.
This is Murder Games, which is on Tuesday, 9:00.
Oh yeah.
This is about a 14-year-old who was lured to his death online. I believe it's on an online game. He was groomed by an 18. This is sort of done as a drama documentary, so I'm thinking sort of Murdered by My Boyfriend, Don't Take My Baby sort of style. We've enjoyed those sort of ones in the past, so I'm hoping this is sort of a similar... Have we got the quiz?
No.